Without further ado, let's hop into this prompt engineering section. So what I want you to do first is download this prompt engineering guide that Benza and I put together to give you all the resources that you're gonna need for this section. So you can download it now in the resources tab. Now, this guide is an overview of prompt engineering. What I want to do in these lectures is just read through this so that you can follow along and you can use this as a complete GPS and cheat sheet for all your future prompts. So first, the overview. Like I mentioned, this prompt engineering doc is designed to optimize your ideation process and enhance the quality of your output. So this document is comprised of two main sections. There's a simplified section, and then there's an advanced prompting section. The simple section is ideal for creating quick ideas, and these will probably be most of your prompts. Generally, when using ChatGPT, you just have a quick question, and you don't really need to go into detail with crafting an entire prompt. But on the other hand, when you do need to do that, the advanced section is going to go into the intricacies of creating a detailed outputs that you can use for personal and professional purposes. So what is prompt engineering? Prompt engineering is the process of designing and optimizing your prompts using NLP models like ChatGPT, and this involves crafting the prompt, like we mentioned, in a clear, concise, and effective way so you can get your desired output. And I put a little bit of a metaphor here, aka prompt engineering is like making an effective fishing lure. Just like a well-designed lure is more likely to go and catch the fish you want when you're fishing, a well-crafted prompt is more likely to get your specific response or desired output. And now on to the three primary principles of prompt engineering. First up, you want to be specific. The more criteria you give, the more focused the output will be. You also want to work in steps and break up your tasks into smaller chunks, just as you would with a human. You wouldn't go to your friend and ask them to do 10 things back to back. You would work through things methodically. First, let's create our schedule for the week. Then let's talk about our schedule for the next month. Then let's talk about our long-term goals. And then let's go here, here, and here. So with ChatGPT, you want to do the same thing and break larger tasks. Don't ask it to write an entire book. Start with the chapters, or start with the table of contents, go into the chapters, go into the content of each chapter, and then further go into the details. This is gonna make a better output. And lastly, on these three principles is you wanna iterate and improve. Like we mentioned, one of the most amazing parts is that you can rework your inputs to have ChatGPT iteratively improve on its own output. Now let's talk about what makes a good prompt. So a great output all comes down to the data that the model was trained on, like I mentioned, its parameters, aka how it's trained to use the data, and then your input, aka prompting. So since we can only control one of these, we can't really control the model that it was trained on, and we can't control the way it was programmed to use that data. We can only control our prompting. So here's what that boils down to. Clear and concise language that's direct and unambiguous, the persona that you want to assign ChatGPT to act as. For example, you can act as a marketing expert, a biologist, a mathematician, or a psychologist. And then it's about the information and examples that you provide. And the interesting part about this is that ChatGPT is going to basically remember and be able to reference any of the information and examples in the previous chat history. So even if it's not in the direct prompt that you're inputting in that very moment, if you were having a conversation and you pasted example information into the chat earlier in that chat history, it's going to be able to reference that data. Next is a specific task that you are clearly requesting ChatGPT to complete, aka your desired output. And lastly, on what makes a good prompt is refinement. So once you've received your first response, you can then reiterate until you receive your desired output. So that's an overview of what makes a good prompt. Now let's actually talk about the main prompting steps that you want to keep in mind. So you first want to define the goal or the problem, and you want to clearly articulate what you want ChatGPT to help you with. Kind of like what we're mentioning and what makes a good prompt, this is another way to frame it in your mind so you're really clear on it. So you want to tell it what your goal is or what your problem is, what you want fixed, what you want answered, and you want to use relevant keywords and phrases that you can input, which will help guide things to your desired response. The next step, of course, is really crafting and writing your prompt clearly, like we mentioned, the information, the task that's required, using keywords, and combining everything in step one in your specified prompt. Then lastly, you want to test, evaluate, and iterate. So we generate our responses, we evaluate the results, we adjust the prompt as needed, and then we repeat the process until we have a successful rockstar prompt that is created and consistently generates the desired response.